Get ready for the biggest showdown of the year. The fate of 2024 production for Ford, GM, and Stellantis vehicles hang in the balance as UNIFOR and the UAW labor unions begin contract negotiations. While I believe UNIFOR has an easier path of getting their negotiations done, what if I told you that the UAW workers are facing a triple threat? The big three automakers, corruption within their own union, and the government. The clock is ticking as the UAW engages in negotiations for a fair deal, with less than about 6 weeks to go before production comes to a halt. As for GM and Ford, their production plant tactics I have looked into, but Stellantis on the other hand has put some of their plants in critical status, and translation for that basically means up to a 7-day work week for 90 days straight. Now Stellantis' plan to flood the market with tons of Jeep and Ram vehicles that's already not selling, offset any potential UAW strike that will leave dealership lots bare. If you check out Brampton assembly plant in Canada, where Dodge makes the Challenger and the Charger, they are starting to sneak in weekend production to get out more cars as well. And at the same time as negotiations with the UAW are happening, Kobe, you messing up my acapella here, baby. And at the same time as negotiations for the UAW are happening, UNIFOR, bruh, why are you so disrespectful? Golly, will you let me say my eulogy? Oh God, you want to let me say my eulogy? Oh God, I'll be back. Whew. A few hours and a hat later. And at the same time as negotiations with the UAW are happening, UNIFOR, which represents the Canadian workers, are also negotiating at the same time. Their demands include, from what I've seen online, is pensions, higher wages, the right to unionize in new EV facilities, including the battery plants, and job security during the industry's transition to electric. But tensions are high because Stellantis keeps UNIFOR in the dark about what's going to happen with the Brampton assembly plant. Now, the Brampton assembly plant is responsible for creating the iconic Challenger and the Charger, and the outgoing 300 as well. To add more fuel to the fire, Stellantis is in their fields because they put on hold a battery plant at Windsor that they already started construction on because the Canadian government gave Volkswagen like several billions of dollars compared to them getting a couple to build their battery plant. This is a very questionable decision, and it comes just months before they got to sit across the table at the very workers whose future jobs they're putting at jeopardy. So why would Stellantis do this? But uncertainty looms for Dodge customers waiting for their Challenger and Charger orders, as delays and even cancellations may occur if UNIFOR goes on strike and it lasts all into the Christmas season. You can kiss your Challenger Charger order done, finito, zip, zero, nada. It's not going to get built. So UNIFOR holds a powerful bargaining chip capable of halting production of Hellcats, Redeye, Superstocks, and the remaining 3,300 D170s as well as affecting the casting plants that supply Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram vehicles that the UAW has to build back in America. With time running out, meeting the demand for the 3,300 D170s and fulfilling the remaining customer orders will be very interesting to see. Now, I already see Dodge panicking and trying to make as many D170s as possible between now and September 14th. If Dodge build, let's say 20 D170s per day, then there should be around 800 to 1,000 built by the time September comes. All the other demons, Hellcats, Redeye, Superstocks that people are waiting on, you basically gotta cross your fingers that UNIFOR does not strike. Because that strike lasts in December, like I said, your order is not coming. You're done, finito. They can't build any cars at December 31st. The UAW workers, on the other hand, are dealing with corruption that has plagued both the union and FCA, who got bought out and is now Stellantis. The recent corruption scandal involving the UAW leadership and FCA employees has left a stain on its leadership. It's crazy that this FCA employee, who received the harshest sentence, confessed to manipulating UAW contracts always since 2009. And it's also odd to me that the government does not seem to want to address GM's racketeering case against Stellantis, especially considering all the UAW presidents who all served short prison terms. Now, that raises suspicions with me about the integrity of these contract negotiations with not just Stellantis, but am I supposed to believe that nothing is going on shady with GM or Ford's contracts? Really? I mean, That's what somebody gonna try to tell me here. And another plot twist is, did you know that President Biden has sent one of his senior advisors, Gene Sperling, to participate in the contract negotiations between the UAW and the Big Three? Now, Sperling, he dates all the way back to the Clinton and Obama administrations, and he also played a role in the COVID rescue package. Now, the silence from the UAW, Ford, and Stellantis regarding his involvement raises a lot of questions for me. Because let's not forget, the last time the White House got involved with a labor dispute, they screwed all the railroad workers out of their ability to strike and forced them to settle an agreement that not all the unions agreed to. Now, the workers, I believe they wanted 15 paid sick days. The railroads, I believe they don't want to give them one. And the government was saying, oh, well, we'll give you 7 days, and they couldn't even pass that. The UAW workers, in my opinion, they face a very bad uphill battle. They're unsure if they got corruption out of their management. Stellantis has been reducing their workforce, breaking promises of no layoffs, and implementing buyouts. The recent layoffs at the Belvedere assembly plant, despite several upcoming vehicle launches that they need a plant to build it in, further shows how Stellantis is going to play with people's job security during negotiations. With the government's vested interest in supporting automakers for this rapid production of electric vehicles, it's clear where the government's priority is. It's not with the workers, it's with the electric cars. It's not like the government bailed out the automakers before and the UAW had to give up concessions that they still don't have now. I've talked to some UAW people, and they're skeptical about any kind of deals this new leadership brings back to them. They've had to deal with decades of leadership hanging them out to dry, while their executives have been getting rich on both sides of the aisle. While workers have had to deal with a range of issues from COLA, pay tiers, cost of living increases, temps, and job security. I was reading this document from Stellantis, and I want to highlight this paragraph where it says that I was clear that we would not be seeking a concessionary agreement, but we must focus on improving efficiency, productivity, unplanned absenteeism, and our U.S. operations, as well as continuing the progress that has been made in producing vehicles at the highest quality possible. And I find this little note from Stellantis very funny, considering a dozen people from both sides of the aisle went to jail for screwing over members. And then they had, what, $15 billion of profit in 2021. I think around $18 billion of profit in 2022, even though they sold less vehicles than they did during the pandemic. And then the Stellantis CEO got $26 million in compensation just a few months ago. Now, I think the UAW will strike, but with the government having their fingerprints in negotiations, and just like with the rail workers last year, I don't think it's going to be a favorable contract for them. The UAW president is talking a big game that they won't shake hands with the Big Three, but we'll find out if his bite is as good as his bark. There is understandable skepticism among UAW workers regarding any deals that new leadership and Stellantis may bring to the table. So I'll say it one more time. If you're looking for a 2024 Ram TRX, don't. Grab your 2023 because there won't be anything new with 2024, and the current word around the campfire is that emissions hold up the 2024 TRX, and no dealers can even order a TRX right now. So if there's a vehicle on the lot that you see that you want now, I will go ahead and grab it before all these dealerships start to smell the UAW is going to be on strike and they can't get no new product for 2024 model year. But once I find out more about negotiations and what's going to happen, I'll make sure to keep you guys updated with another video. But if you found this video helpful, make sure you leave it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Grab some last call merch on your way out. And until the next time, I'm out.